Hi guys, my name's Jasmine. I just wanted to come on here and show you how to embroider and add 3D flowers to a plain skirt, just to give it a bit of detail, using a Luneville hook and making your own 3D flowers. It elevated the skirt so much and made it look quite couture, so follow along with me and see how we get it done. I started by just drawing out a simple pattern, and I marked where I wanted my flowers, my big ones and my small ones, and I just played around until I liked the design, and then I put it under my organza and simply traced around where I wanted it all around the border. Now obviously you're going to have to do different methods if you choose a different fabric, but obviously the benefit of having sheer is you can see through it. It was good fun. So I traced it all the way around the edge, exactly where I wanted to be, just with a dotted line with pencil, and crossed for big and dashed for small flowers, just so I knew where I was putting which flower. This was probably my favourite part, cutting out and making all the little flowers. I just counted how many I needed and worked it out from there, but I cut a simple little daisy shape, I guess you could call it. It cut 4 of those each, but for my small ones I did round little flowers, which I'll show you. So you just cut around how many you need. I cut out just a simple stencil and then worked out the size. You need 4 of those, and then you just take them one by one, fold them in half again until you got quarters, and keep layering them like that. So half again, put it on top, half and half, so you got another quarter. So you're going to end up with your 4 flowers layered, and then you sew these ones together. I just tacked it as discreetly as possible, because obviously you're going to see the front side of the flower on your skirt. Now I have no idea where I got this clamp from, but it has come in very handy. It was with another art project that I bought, but that is literally just what I use. I clamp my frame to my table. There is a multitude of ways you can do this. There are actually hoops that have a stand, and that's probably the best way to do it, but I didn't have one, so I was just using what I had on hand. And I'm just adding the hoop to my fabric first, and you got to make sure it's obviously big enough to fit your pattern, so you're not constantly moving it, otherwise it would be really frustrating. But yeah, for each pattern my hoop fitted in perfectly, and you just want to make sure it's quite centered and taut, because you'll see in the next bit it's not quite taut enough. I was probably rushing a little bit. But yeah, that's just getting centered, and the electrical tape doing its job, not marking the fabric. It's really a crucial step if you don't want all those marks on your fabric. This was a silk organza, so it marks quite easily. And I just found I had to tighten the bolt of the embroidery hoop with pliers, because it's really tight after that tape is added. That's what I'm doing there. And you're happy with the tautness of it, you can go ahead and clamp that to the table. The thing I forgot to show you, which you'll see in a minute, is I normally just get a piece of felt or something and put that underneath the clamp against the fabric, because you don't want anything to mark your fabric. I I forgot it here. So here I decided to embroider with a Luneville hook just because you'll see it's a lot quicker than hand embroidering. Obviously, if you don't want to go to the extent of clamping your hoop and everything, hand embroidery is the way to go for you. But I just loved how fast it came together, you know, in terms of hand sewing. And the effect of it is beautiful. It's just, you just go around the curve so easily, you can see clearly, your thread doesn't knot up, you're not constantly having to make sure you've got enough thread on your needle. There's just so many perks to doing this. And also I have this old worldly feeling when I use it. I just love it. It was a little technique that I learned when I went to France. I did an embroidery course, and man, it was amazing. I'd go back in a heartbeat. It was called Lassage. So cool. There's probably about 10 different courses you can do for embroidery, different stages. You've got to start at level 1, and people from all over the world go there. It's so cool. If you do choose this method, there are YouTube clips to teach you how to do this. I wouldn't say it's too hard, especially if you know how to crochet and stuff. The chain stitch is effectively the same. You just got to learn how to hold it and how to spin it, really. But I had an excellent teacher, so I learned in under 20 minutes. It's beneficial. The last crucial step, sewing on your flowers. I actually really loved this part as well. So you just get your needle and thread. I actually doubled my thread over just so it's a bit stronger, and made sure you are just grabbing the tip end of your flower so it stays quite discreet and neat, and just grabbing a little bit so it's like a little pin prick of thread showing. It looks really neat by the end. I'm just going to show you a quick way to knot your thread. So you make sure you wrap your thread around the needle towards you and slide all that wrapping all the way down your thread until you get a perfect little knot at the end. And just a quick snippet of how you wrap the electrical tape around your hoop. You've got to do the outside and the inside of your hoop.